Welcome to Mosse Cybersecurity Institute. My name is Benjamin Mosse and I'm the founder of the Institute. We begin our series on incident response by talking about the different types of cyber adversaries that any organization could face. Now, let's begin our list. On one hand, we have the activists. The activists are people who, because they want to support a cause, will hack any website where they can maybe deface the website to promote their message. In some cases, they are very targeted. They may only go after websites that promote an ideology that they are against, but there are some of these adversaries that will truly hack anybody and anything that's available to them. Then we have what we could call the professional hackers or the expert hackers. These are IT people that have domain knowledge in cybersecurity and decide to use it and actually compromise organizations. And they have many different motivations for doing so. It could be that your organization has simply annoyed the wrong person on the phone and it was a bad day and that person just decided to attack your website to make a point of something. It could also be that these professional hackers, they want to make money and they've decided to turn to the proverbial dark side. And so they're now going to use their skills to attack organizations that they know are particularly vulnerable and that they could leverage and make a lot of money from. We also have what we can call the script kiddies. The script kiddies are just people that have an interest in cybersecurity. They don't really know yet how to compromise an organization end to end, but they're going to try open source tools to attack organizations. They're going to try to get in just to see if they can. And once they're in, it's really anyone's guess as to what they're going to do. Some of them get in and leave. Some of them get in and then may notify you of how they've done it. Some of them will get in and then bring their friends inside. There's really no sort of line of behavior that they follow. Then we have what we can call organized crime. Organized crimes are literally people whose businesses it is to hack other businesses. And these guys are incredibly organized. They have offices, they have employees that come in and clock in the morning and clock out in the evening. They have developers that are dedicated to writing malware. And so these guys are truly in the business of computer hacking. Then we have what we call the insiders. The insiders are employees that have privileged access onto your network. In some cases, those may also be contractors. And what these guys do, and they have several motivations for what they do, but maybe they've seen something in your organization that they believe is not right. In some cases, they may have tried to raise it through appropriate channels. In some cases, they may not. But in either case, they think that what they've seen is more important than the whole organization, and they're going to take active steps to make a point as to what they think should be brought to awareness. And so some of them are very destructive. Some of them may cause fraud and try to steal money because they have the right access to be able to do it. Some of them may try to raise a particular thing that the organization is not yet doing very well. And so the insiders are very dangerous because a lot of the time they already have the access. They know the people and they know the internal system that they need to navigate and so on and so forth. And so catching them is not always necessarily easy. And then finally, we have the nation-state threat actors. These are military units that are funded by the government. And almost every government in the world now has these military units, including Australia, including France, including the United States, including almost any country that you can think of these days. They have military units that their mission is at best to defend critical infrastructure and to disrupt enemies that would try to attack that country. But in some cases, they take it a step further and they attack the private sector. They attack the government sector of other nations to steal data, to meddle into elections, and so on and so forth. Now, the point I want to drive here is that a lot of organizations that think about cybersecurity look at all these adversaries and say, oh, we're never going to be attacked by activists. We're never going to be targeted by nation states. We're really not that important, so we won't have any insiders. And that's a really big mistake to make, to try and assume that you're never going to be targeted by any one of these groups. Because the reality is that nobody knows. Nobody can tell you that with any sense of certainty that these groups of adversaries will never go after you. The good news is the following, that you don't need to try and guess who's going to attack you. If you apply very sound cybersecurity principles to defend your organization and you do correct risk management, the security controls that you deploy in your networks, in your applications, on top of your data, will work at deterring, denying, and blocking any one of these threat actors, regardless of their motivation, and in some cases, even regardless of their skill levels. Okay? There's a fundamental belief in the industry that anybody could hack into anything if they want it bad enough. The reality is that there are some things that once the security has been put in place in the right ways, well, you got to be ready to spend 3, 4, 5 years to try and get a 0-day into the systems to be able to hack it. Like, it's just not that simple, okay? And so it is truly possible to deter adversaries with the right security controls in place. And yeah, it is possible that some of them would still find a way to get in if they want to, but that's just part of business, okay? Cyber risk is a risk, we manage it, and then, if a major event happens, then we respond to that event and we recover from that event. We shouldn't have a defeatist view on the topic. So thank you very much for watching. We're now going to drill down into further details about incident response and see you in the next video.